I love you, Donald, Rita said. Donald's mind went straight to his dream. He didn't want to please or displease her. I love you too with the love of Christ, he said smartly. But why can't you love me back? She asked amid tears, making Donald to feel guilty. Because you are married and I am engaged to someone, a lady just like you, so anything between us will be called lust. Oga, I am not married. I was only joking because I needed you in my life. I don't love you, Donald said, and she broke into uncontrollable tears. Donald began to plead with her because it was still morning and she was dressed for work. Alright, choose between these two. Ask me to show me that you love me, or peck me to show me that you hate me. Sorry, Rita. I can't do any of that. Please understand me. Then just buy me, she said. She was angrily shouting at Donald when he pulled her to himself and pecked her. She reciprocated. Satisfied now? Donald asked. Whatever, she said and walked away. Donald went to his room and slumped on the sofa, feeling disappointed in himself and still didn't know what to do. He felt guilty about Anita and the state he might have put her through. He felt guilty all round. Rita! 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 He called, but she was gone for work already. When she comes back, I will tell her I'm leaving because I can't continue like this. I love Anita and nothing can separate me from her, not even her tears. Unlike before that he will clean up the house and cook for her, he washed his clothes and prepared to leave instead. He took a nap which was filled with unusual nightmares. He hardly remembered any of it when he woke up. All he wanted at that time was Anita, and after her, nobody else. The door to his room was opened wide. Rita came in and said, Donald, your aunt is here to see you. Donald hissed. I'm serious, she said. Really? What does she look like? And who told you I have an aunt? A lady called Malika claimed to be your aunt, and you are here saying something different. At the mention of his aunt's name, he checked up. He ran downstairs to see his aunt sitting in the living room. He ran to hug her immediately. Boy, you were too rough. You kept me worried, she said. Auntie, not at all. I don't have access to my phone, that's why, Donald replied. Yes, your woman told me everything. I'm so sorry. Donald was shocked and he asked, My woman? Yes, I mean Rita, the lady that brought me here. Or aren't you going to settle with her? No, I don't want her, Donald replied. That's crazy of you because she helped you. Whatever. How do you know her? Donald asked. You know your auntie is smart. I traced your phone to the prison. I asked about you from the staff who happens to be Rita. I'm so happy I didn't fall into the wrong hands. How is my boy doing? I have missed you, she said, petting his head. Thank God you came early. Let's go, Donald said. No, I'll be here with the couple for a few days, she said. Auntie, please, can we stop this already? She's just a friend, Donald maintained. Whatever. Friend or woman or all I know is that I'm staying here with you people for few days. Donald and his aunt stayed with Rita for 2 days. The two women tried their best for Donald to love Rita, but his mind was on Anita, the woman he deflowered. Auntie Malika insisted that either he stays with Rita or follow her to South Africa. Donald chose following her, so they left Rita for South Africa. His country without Anita was boring. He told his auntie about her, but she didn't believe him. She thought he just wanted to go to Nigeria to live, but all he wanted was Anita. Auntie, I promise I will come back after a week, he pleaded. No, I can't let you go to those wicked people, she replied. Wedding preparation was going on when Akin decided to visit Lena's house. He went there but couldn't find Lena and Anita. Luckily for him, the maid was around. She smiled and added word. I have something to tell you because I love you, she said. You love me? And what do you want to tell me? Akin asked in shock. She went to him and whispered some words into his ear. Akin couldn't believe what she said. Are you serious? He asked. I'm so serious. And just as I've said, I love you so much and I don't want you to die young. Akin left there angrily, thinking of what to do. I have a lot of work to do because if I confirm what the maid told me to be true, then I will make life a living hell for those fools, he muttered to himself. He couldn't sleep throughout the night as ideas came to his brain on how he would do things. Mary felt unusual around her waist, so she decided to go see the doctor, who confirmed she was in labor. Please, doctor, I need your help, she said, biting her lower lip. Mrs. Kelvin, I can do whatever you want, the doctor replied. Okay, she stressed because of the pains. My husband must not come until I've put to bed. And when he comes, tell him the pregnancy is just 7 months and I gave birth untimely because I fell from the stairs while preparing the lunch. The doctor breathed so hard. No, I can't do that. It might implicate me someday and your husband will not take it lightly with me. That was actually her fears. And that was the only story she could use at that moment. She stared at the doctor for a long time. Don't forget I'm his wife, and I can even close your hospital if you misbehave. My dad has the power, she threatened. Please, Mrs. Calvin, you are setting me up for trouble, the doctor said. If you comply with me, then you'll be as free as birds of the air and become my favorite. But if you misbehave, then be ready for doom, Mary threatened them all. She pitied the doctor because he looked like a wailing infant and a weeping orphan. What do you want me to do? He asked in a pitiable voice. Just lie. Simple lie, that's all, Mary replied. Few minutes later, the pains went high. She cried loud. And few hours later, she was put to bed of a baby boy. She hated the baby so much and prayed for it to die. The doctor was able to convince her husband, who knew nothing, that his wife gave birth to a baby at 7 months, and the baby was strong and healthy. Finally, it was the wedding day. Lucy came over to dress Lena. Lena had told no one about her plans. Anita looked at them in disgust, and Lucy was forced to ask, why are you always having problems with Lena? You are here to dress her, so dress her and go, Anita fired back. Lucy, I beg leave Madame, Lena said, and they all laughed. Anita walked to the living room when she heard the doorbell ring. She opened the door only to see Timothy. She smiled at him and asked, have you changed your mind? No, let her deal with the stupid boy, he replied. And if she's not good at dealing with people, then they will deal with her instead, Anita said. Aren't you going for the wedding? He asked. No, I feel lazy, Anita replied. Lazy, Anita. How are you? Shame, he teased, and Anita laughed. Where is the bride? She's upstairs with a hired maid. Okay, I'll be right back, he said before leaving. Immediately Lena saw Timothy. She was so happy. She asked the ladies to excuse them. I have missed you so much, my love. You were so busy with unnecessary wedding, Timothy said. Lena pulled him for a hug. Come on, dear, don't say that. You know I miss you more than you do. I I have another idea, he said. What's the idea about? Lena asked. Instead of going to the church, why not remain at home and send a letter to the priest? No, I don't buy that idea. We must deal with him, Lena replied. Okay, you are the boss lady. I don't want to lose you because Anita is getting me scared and I had an horrible nightmare. You know I love you, so don't be scared, Lena assured. Okay, take care, he said before leaving. Hours later, she was ready for the wedding. Aki specially sent a car that would pick her up. On their way, the car was blocked by another car, and before Lena knew what was happening, she was taken away from her mates. Her hands were tied as she was brought before Aki. He laughed as the devil himself. So you think you can deceive me? I have planned everything, so no wedding. You are now my wife. Lena's heart beat very fast. Aki, you are a big fool. You haven't done the traditional rites, so I can't be called your wife, Lena said, trying to free herself, but she was tied. He laughed and walked around the room. Don't worry, girl. I will send everything to your parents. You are my wife, and that's who you are. Fool yourself. I hate you, and nothing can stop that, Lena said. Neither do I love you, but you are my wife. You will be here without food for 2 days before I release you, and I will never allow you to go out. I hate you. I hate you more, but you are mine, he said like a weirdo. He pulled her hair so hard that Lena cried. Never you play with my feelings because of my past, he said, and walked out. Lena wished she had listened to Anita or Timothy, but it was too late. She was weak and thirsty, but no help because the door was locked. I love you, honey. Take good care of yourself and Daniel, Kevin said. He pecked Mary lightly on her forehead before leaving for work. I love you too, Mary replied. She watched as the baby slept soundly. She made the baby to wake. The baby began to cry. You are not welcome here. I only kept you because I don't want to commit the sin of murder. But I'm pleading with you to journey to the other side of life. Else, I will frustrate you. The baby cried louder, and Mary did something with her finger which made him cry the more. She cursed the day she gave birth to him. While the baby was still crying, she heard the doorbell ring. She quickly carried the baby from the bed and started cuddling it as he ran to open the door. She was surprised to see David because it was still morning, and he only comes when her husband was around. Oh, David, you're here? She asked, surprised. Yes, I was actually passing when I decided to come say hi to our baby boy, he said. Mary smiled. Oh, Daniel has been giving me headache and I've got a lot of work to do. Let me help you then. I will hold the baby while you do the works, he said. Mary thanked him and handed the baby over to him. She had no work to do, so she went to her bedroom to sleep. But she found it so hard to sleep because her conscience made her feel guilty. She stood up from the bed and walked around the room thinking, I must not be bad to Daniel because he is my son. But what about Kevin? She tiptoed to check on David and the baby. He was with the baby who seemed to be quiet. She felt like telling him to get an object and bite the baby. But can I stand it? She asked herself. She let the tears flow freely on her dry face. How long have you been standing here? David's voice took her unaware. I just came in, she lied and quickly wiped her face. David surprised her when he walked up to her. She tried to pretend, but he knew she was worried. Mary, you can confide in me. I promise I will make things better if you tell me why you were crying, he said. Not really. I was chopping onions at the kitchen, that's why, she faked a smile. Mary, you can't lie to me. As a matter of fact, I came here because of you. Because of me? Mary asked, surprised. Yes. You have been acting unusual lately, and it seems Calvin never suspected it. But as his friend and someone who wants the best for him, I can't watch his wife dying out of ignorance. Just tell me everything and I will work it out, he said. Mary felt uneasy. Should I tell him? Will he help me out? Don't worry. I will talk to him myself. It's a minor issue, she said. Okay, David said, shaking his head. Can I have my baby? Sure, yes. I'll be on my way. But don't hesitate to call me when you need my help, he said. Thank you very much, Mary said. Took her baby to the bed because he slept off already. She was just confused about everything and she didn't know when she slept off and woke up very late. Beside her was Daniel still sleeping. She went to the kitchen to make dinner. The next morning, Kelvin said to her, Honey, take good care of yourself and Daniel. I am going because I have many unfinished works to do. Mary frowned. No, honey, don't give me that look this morning, he said. But is that all you have to say? What is even the problem? You barely have my time these days and all you say is, honey, take good care of yourself and the baby. Don't you want the baby? Mary queried. Come on, honey. I want to make things easy for us as a husband and a father. I love the baby just the way I love you, so stop saying all that. I will keep saying it until you have time for us. You can't tell me you are working to make things easy because only my account will raise our fourth generation. Kelvin laughed. It's not funny, Mary snapped. I'm sorry, but I promise to make it up to you and the baby, he said, and placed a kiss on her forehead and rushed out. Mary had strong feelings that all was not well. She couldn't wait to resume work. She had been given 3 months break, but it seemed to be 1 year because Calvin wasn't helping. The doorbell rang a few minutes after he left. She opened the door to see David. You again? She asked sarcastically. Yes, me. Or don't you want me around? Not really. Just that my husband is not around. I sure know that. I am here to make you feel good, he said. Now, that was strange, and Mary found it difficult to understand. Please, I want to see the baby, he requested. The baby is sleeping, Mary replied. Can I still see him? Sure, yes, Mary said. He followed her to the baby's room. I missed his smiles, he said. Mary felt cold. At least someone likes her baby. How about yesterday? Were you able to sort this out? He asked. Not really, Mary replied. And as she recalled everything, her eyes were filled with tears. No, dear, don't cry. Just tell me anything at all and I will help you, he said. This made Mary to cry the more and he pulled her for a hug. He patted her back while Mary rested her head on his chest. Kevin on his part had been receiving calls and text messages from unknown callers that his wife is a prostitute, but he never believed it. Immediately he got to work, he received a text message from the unknown caller that he should go back home to check his wife. Kevin trusted his wife so much. He threatened to deal with the caller if nothing bad happened. When he got home, he tiptoed to all the rooms. When he got to the baby's room, he saw the most shocking thing, his wife hugging his best friend. What the hell is going on here? He shouted, and the two checked up. Mary, so because I've been busy, you decided to make things out with my best friend? I beg your pardon, Mary said confusedly. My London has refused to be begged because I am not speaking in my native and I am seeing everything. But I ask, why do you guys choose to betray me? What? Honey, are you crazy? Why would you think such a thing will happen? Kelvin, what are you saying? David asked. Oga, I am only asking what you are doing here, hugging my wife. And as for you, speaking now to Mary, don't fool me because I am disappointed in you. Mary's heart beat fast because Kelvin was really taking things too far. Mary here has a problem with you. She had been crying for Lane, but you don't even care. I met her in the States and I decided to calm her down, David said. Wow, bravo, Kevin said, clapping his hands. You decided to calm my wife by nestling her in my own house, right? Now leave my house, he shouted, and David left immediately without saying a word. Is this how you want us to be? Couple without trust for each other? Then let's start the life, Mary said and walked away. Anita was laying confused on her bed. She was thinking of Lena and poor Timothy. They've been working on how to get Lena back and she felt sorry for Timothy because he had really emaciated. Debbie walked into the room and said to her, "Someone wants to see you." "Tell the person I'm coming," Anita replied. She felt lazy and overweight. She found it so difficult to stand up from the bed. Oh, who is this person? This is pure disturbance now. My God, could it be Donald? I wish he would just appear and apologize and we hug him passionately. Finally, she sluggishly stood up to go check the person. Her joy knew no bound when she saw only her mother. She had always wished to see only her, not with her sister or father. "Annie, I am sorry for leaving you." Anita stopped her by placing her index finger on her mouth. "Mom, it's not your fault. I have missed you so much, just that I hate that proud peacock." "No, dear, stop calling your father a proud peacock. No matter what happens, he still remains your father and you are to respect him. You know you disappointed him, right?" "Mom, the deed had happened already. I had made the mistake and I apologized to my father, but my proud father wouldn't forgive me. He disowned me instead, and the day he finally came to see me, he provoked me. Mom, I don't even know how you met him, but he's terrible." "It's okay, dear. I'm here for you now. How have you been?" "Mom, I can't lie, I haven't been good at all." She narrated how she had been feeling to her mother and she heaved a sigh. "Maybe the baby is arranging." "I pray so, because I am tired of carrying this big tummy," Anita said. "Don't worry, my dear. I know it's not easy, but all will be well." Her mother made lunch. She washed her clothes and loosened her braided hair, which made Anita to feel relieved. Ranging from 5 to 7, she walked around the house tirelessly. "Take it easy," her mother said to her. She tried to pretend, but she couldn't pretend when the pains increased. She cried loud. Her mother took her to the hospital. Her cry was the noise of the hospital, but she didn't care. She was taken to the labor room, where she spent about 2 hours without any sign of the arrival of the baby. "Please, nurse, get me pain reliever medicine," she pleaded with the nurse. "My dear, that's how all women suffer it. There is no pain relief medicine for a woman in labor," she replied. "Then let me just die now," Anita said. "No, you will not die. You will live. You will give birth to this baby and I'll be carrying my grandchild and you will be healthy," her mother said. The doctor walked in and Anita asked for pain reliever from him. "Joanne, get Get her pain relief, the daughter said. Her mother was surprised, while Anita felt relieved when he asked the nurse to get it for her. Stand up, let's go, the nurse said, and Anita wondered what pain reliever had to do with her standing up. Mom, please help me to stand, she said. No, leave her to do things by herself, the nurse said. Now follow me and do whatever I do. You need pain reliever, right? Yes, Anita answered. All right, my darling. Exercise is the best pain reliever for women in labor. You won't even know when the baby comes down. Anita felt like slapping her for fooling her. The nurse asked her mother to wait for her while she made Anita to run round the hospital, shouting fire on the mountain like primary school children during physical education. They were still running when Anita discovered she can't run any longer. She knelt down and screamed, Nurse! She ran to call other nurses. They carried her inside as she closed her eyes and used her last strength to push. Few minutes later, the baby came down crying. Anita felt like someone whose body was taken, but the placenta did not come out immediately. The baby was big, which made her to sustain injury. The doctor gave her an instruction which she followed, and the placenta came out immediately. She slumped tired. The whole place was messed up. The baby's mouth was vibrating and the cry was loud. The nurses did the cleaning while her mother joined them in the ward. She wanted to know the hungry baby's gender. Her mom cleaned her up and made her lay on the bed, but she wasn't ready to sleep. Mom, she called. Yes, dear, her mom replied. Is the baby a boy or a girl? She is a girl, her mother replied. Anita heaved a sigh of relief. She didn't want a boy because she doesn't have that strength. Don't tell my father or big sister, she requested. But why? What has she done to you? Referring to Annabella. Anita narrated everything to her, but her mom found it difficult to believe. The baby should be called Benita, she said. It's not yet time to give her a name, her mother said, and she smiled. My daughter, please do me a favor. Forgive your father and come back home. Mom, I can forgive him, but I can't come back home. Lena, the owner of the house, is nowhere to be found, and I must help her out, Anita replied. Then forgive your father. Because of me, her mother pleaded. I have forgiven him long time ago, Anita replied. She hugged her tightly. You are now a mother. Single or married, you are a mother and you should adopt the heart of a mother, she said. They stayed in the hospital for 2 days before they were discharged. One day, Anita forcefully woke up because of the knock on her door. She knew it was Debbie because ever since she gave her a room, she had been waking her up so early. She angrily opened the door. Yes? What is it? She asked angrily. I'm so sorry for waking you up. Mr. Timothy wants to see you, Debbie said. Tell him I will join him in no time. And thank your God that you came up with a good excuse. How about Anita? She's healthy, Anita said and banged the door on her without waiting to hear further from her. Anita couldn't understand why Debbie just disgusted her always, and she had been trying her best not to be rude, but she just couldn't. She brushed her teeth before joining Timothy. He opened his mouth wide when he saw her. What's the matter? Anita asked, wondering why he had to look at her that way. Your beauty has been increasing every day. You are not the noisy Anita I know. Come on, stop the flatter. I'm damn serious, lady. Anita blushed and sat on the couch. Any news? You came so early, she asked. Yes. I want you to know that I've missed my woman. It's getting to 4 months now and the devil will not allow her to come out, he said. Anita felt so sorry for him because she doesn't have any idea of what to do and she had been busy working at Lena's boutique because she wanted her business to grow better. She had lied to Timothy earlier that she had an idea, and that was why he came so early. She placed her hand on her cheek, thinking of how to give him hope. All right, let's go to Akin's house. He must let Lena go because love is not by force. He has restricted her from many things because he knows she will not give in to him. Going to Akin's house is like going to the lion's den, Timothy said. Yes, you are very correct because Akin is wealthy and he can do crazy things. But I still think we should go. You are being recognized by his workers as his closest friend, so nobody will suspect anything. All right, if you say so, then let's give that a try, Timothy said. Lena, on her part, was imprisoned indeed. She had moved on with a tough life. Akin beats her every day. He makes her to do everything by force and told her openly that he hated her but still belonged to him. Ever since she was released, she had not set her eyes on his daughter. Last night, he tried to kiss her, but Lena refused and he slapped her several times, saying she should learn how to move on with him. Sweetheart, I am going to work. Say something nice to me, he said. I hate you, Lena answered. Of course, I hate you as well, he said, and tried to pull her hair when his phone rang. He smiled after looking at the phone. Are they coming now? Was the only thing he said and hung the call. Sweetheart, we are going to South Africa today with my private jet, he announced, thinking Lena will be happy. No matter where you take me to, my love for Timothy will keep growing, she replied. Maybe the love will continue in hell, because here on earth you are mine, he said and pressed his eyes. He brought his tongue out to tease her. You are too stubborn and disrespectful for my liking. I have told you to be putting on the short dresses that I bought for you and not all this Maria Maka gown. Since you are stubborn, then I'll be strict. He walked to her and tried to pull off her clothes. Lena targeted somewhere and kicked him so hard. He fell and Lena ran away. She ran as fast as her legs could take her. When she got to the living room, she picked his regular car keys and headed for the car. A car drove in while she was heading to the car. She was about to open the car when she heard her name. She turned towards the car that drove in to see Timothy and Anita. Quickly, she ran to them and hugged Timothy so tight, like she will hold him forever. Let's go now, Anita yelled. Anita, I have missed him. She let go of him immediately she realized Anita was carrying a baby. Wow, she's beautiful, she exclaimed. The pain was too much for Akin, but he managed to stand up. Though he had been harsh on Lena, but he still loves her. He ran to the living room. He checked the couch where he had carelessly left his car key, but it wasn't there. Of course, he knew it was with the smart girl because he was hearing honks of car. He quickly picked the remote control of his gate. The gate can either be opened with the remote or through the security man, but he had a way of controlling it that the gateman wouldn't be able to open it. He ran to the door, only to see Romeo and Juliet hugging each other. He set the gate, waiting for them to finish. They all entered the car and drove to the gates. He called two of his hefty guys that worked for him and they waited for them. They were all acting drama with the gates when the two guys called that they were at the gates. Akin told them what to do. He opened the little gate for them. That was when Timothy noticed he was the one behind everything. They couldn't go with Lena because his guys threatened them. Lena was brought back to him. My love, you can't go anywhere, Akin said to her. He laughed hard and took her away. He ordered for his private jets and before dawn, they were at South Africa. Mary! Mary! Kelvin called. Mary had never heard him call her name. His voice sounded like someone that was seriously angry and would hurt her at that time. Honey, what's the matter? She asked when he came in. You unfaithful wife. is the father of Daniel?" he asked, and Mary's heart beat so fast. "I don't know what you are talking about. You own the child, of course." "Mary, I am taking this child for tests. And if the result states that I'm not his biological father, then consider yourself dead. I, Kevin, will buy you with my bare hands." Mary couldn't hide her fears. She wondered who told him. "Bella is the only one that knows about my problem." Oh my God. She was still lost in thought when Kevin took the child away from her. She was so scared and she cried. She woke up immediately. Her bed was soaked with tears. She found it hard to believe it was a dream, but fortunately for her, it was a dream. Her fear grew when a thought struck her. What if Bella decides to tell Kevin? "I know she won't do crazy thing like that, but I don't even trust her," she muttered to herself. She became restless as many things ran through her mind. Then she decided to tell her mother everything. She checked all the rooms. Kelvin was not at home. She knew he had gone for work, so she decided to have a bath, bathed the baby as well, and got dressed to go see her mother. Even if she doesn't believe me, I will still let her know. I am still her trusted daughter who always confide in her. In few weeks, I will resume work, so I need to make things before it gets worse. She arrived at parents' house. The maid was the only one at home. She said her mom traveled, and her mom never told her she would be traveling. She slapped her head in disappointment and left the place. She won't have time again to go see her. 1 year later, Benita grew so fast. She started working at 10 months. She always made Anita so happy and reminded her of herself. Anita promised to celebrate her daughter's 1 year birthday when she started calling her mom. She felt womanly, though single mother. She made up her mind to take good care of her daughter for the rest of her life, and she doesn't want any man in her life again. She was tired of thinking about Donald. He was once upon a time a pest to her soul. She wasn't lucky her first love ruined her life. But in all, she was happy that the baby turned out to be a blessing to her. She promised to become Benita's closest friend and to tell her raw facts about things she needs to know in order to avoid repeated mistakes. "Timothy is here," Debbie said, interrupting her good thoughts. "Debbie, come here," Anita commanded. She sluggishly walked to her. Anita almost slapped her, but she controlled herself. "You don't call his name the way you like." Lately, Debbie had been disrespectful to Timothy with a reason best known to her. Anita was only waiting for Lena to finalize everything before she would send her away. But Lena is nowhere to be found, and Timothy wouldn't give up in search of her. "What do you mean?" Debbie asked, already provoking Anita. "Debbie, don't forget what you are employed as. You are my maid. Though I have never treated you as one, so don't provoke me to do that," Anita warned. She stood staring at her without apologizing. "Don't worry. I will create time for you and your foolishness in this house," Anita said and walked away. "Sorry, Mr. Timothy, for keeping you waiting." "No challenge. How is Benita?" "Benita is sleeping," Anita replied, and then noticed the sadness on Timothy's face. "Timothy, I know I'm not Lena and I can never be like her, but please take things easy by pulling yourself together. I know she will be alright." "I also know she will be alright, but what if he gets her pregnant or the two begin to feel for each other?" "Come on, Timothy, stop saying a thing like that. Remember the last time we saw her, her clothes was torn and you need no one to tell you Akin is hitting her. So how do you expect her to feel for him?" "Yes, you are right. I'm just praying for her safety. I have talked to her parents and they've given me authority to do anything to Akin because Lena never mentioned getting married to him to them." Yes, that's the perfect one. You will fight for your woman, right? Yes, I will. Anita gave him a high five. Being rough to Waki won't help matters at all. It will make him beat me every day. Lena decided to act cool and he played along, but she had feelings that he was cunning. Her plans was just to get back to Nigeria by all means. Sweetheart, we are going out today. And guess what? He asked. What? Lisa will be coming and you must be good to her. I don't want her to know anything about us, he said. Lena agreed with him, knowing too well that it's an opportunity. I'm sorry for hurting you, but I was angry when I got to know about your plans, he said. I'm so sorry too for trying to hurt the man I once loved. Please forgive me so that we'll be lovers we used to be, Lena added too. He hugged her passionately. If only he knew it was all a drama. Few hours later, Lisa came in with a woman. She was so happy when she saw Lena. Dad told me you are now my mom, she said. Her words sank into Lena. She smiled without saying a word. Aki came in and Lisa ran to him happily. Dad, I have missed you so much. Hope mom is cool, she said, referring to Lena as mom. Lisa is a very good teaser, I must say, because she always tried her best to join Lena and Aki, but Lena didn't feel for him anymore. Dad, don't forget you said you would take me to the park. Yes, I will take you there just today. Why mom will be taking you there Sundays? Lena gave him a bad look when he said he would be the one to be taking her to the park. Love you, Dad. Love you too, my princess. She pecked him lightly before leaving. Few hours later, they were at the park, and Lena wondered why she loved the park when nothing really amazes her. She was tired of walking around, and so she decided to sit under a shade while Aki and Lisa continued walking. A guy who looked familiar, though she couldn't recall where she knew him from, came to her. Wow, it is a pleasure seeing you here. I really need your help, he said. Huh? Lena asked, surprised. Yes, he answered. Well, I am not Charity, so I don't help, Lena said and tried to excuse herself, but he grabbed her hand. I need to get Bella's contacts because I can't live without her sister. How will you feel if you are separated from the one you love, he said. Lena was shocked. I don't get you. I still love Anita, he blurted out. Are you Donald? Yes, I am. Lena wanted to speak further when she sighted Akin coming. Don't be offended. I will come here again. I came with someone that will suspect something if he sees us like this. I know how you will get Anita back, but you must be patient. What do you mean by that? He shouted. Hey, don't bully me, Lena said, and quickly left him for Waki and Lisa, who never suspected anything. Hey, African Tales by Karma Tribe, how are you all doing? For me, I am doing just fine. I apologize for bringing this particular episode late. I think I explained the reason it is so in episode 6, so kindly bear with me. And then this particular story has 2 more episodes to go, but I won't be bringing them soon. I had to gather views as well, so please understand with me. Have you liked? Have you subscribed? Have you shared? If you have not done any of this, kindly do that and let me read from you what you learned from this particular episode. If you like what Karma is doing and you wish to support me, kindly use the link on my bio or the link on the description of this video to buy me coffee. You can as well buy me a super thanks. Until I bring the next story your way, it is a goodbye from here, and God bless you.